Today I want to talk to you about the mistakes we make when watering our gardens. So I'm going to be talking about the most efficient ways to water, how to keep your garden happy and healthy whilst watering your gardens in the heat of the summer, and how not to waste a single drop of water that you water your garden with. If this sounds like something you might be interested in, if this sounds like something that's quite appropriate for this time of year, which it is, then keep on watching. Hello and welcome to Gardening Naturally with Green Fingertips with me, Josie, your natural gardening coach. So let me know in the comments if you are out in the garden in the middle of the summer at like midnight trying to water your garden and keeping as much moisture in the ground as you possibly can. I am one of these crazy people, not so much midnight, but I am out there later in the evening times rather than the mornings, later in the evening times to try and make the best use of the water that I water my plants with. So let me know in the comments, are you one of these people? Are you with me? Best ways to make sure that you provide the water that you water your garden with actually gets to the plant roots, actually gets to the plants, and the plants can utilize it before it's evaporated from the heat of the summer. So one of the best ways to get this is to actually water the soil, not the plants. So when you're watering the leaves of a plant, this is one of the mistakes that we make. When you water the leaves of the plants, there's a higher risk of the plants getting burnt. If you water the soil rather than watering the plants, the water gets absorbed into the soil faster, gets to the roots of the plants faster, where the plants can take it up and actually utilise it before it gets evaporated. So no matter how warm the soil is, if you get it onto the soil and get it around the roots of the plants, it will absorb and be absorbed by the plant to actually get to where it's going and be used how it's needed. So that's one of the really good ways of making sure you make the most out of your water that you water your plants with, and to not make the mistake of getting the leaves burnt either, which isn't so good. Actually, the question, when are you one of these people that waters your garden at night or early in the day, but at night? Time of day is actually a really important part of watering your garden, especially in the summertime. If you try and avoid watering your garden at the peak of the hottest part of the day, the peak of the day, this will help to reduce the amount of water that's evaporated, the amount of damage that you could do to your garden, and helps your plants access every drop of water that you give to them. Watering plus it's more pleasant for us when we're watering as well, to be fair. We are not watering in the middle of summer, the hottest part of the day, you're not out there watering your garden. It's more pleasant when you're not doing that. So that's good. That's a positive all on its own. But as we said, when the water droplets hit the leaves, at the peak of the day, when the full sun is out, it can burn the leaves, it can damage the leaves. This will encourage pests and disease and any fungal issues that could be floating around in the air. It will affect the health and well-being of your plants, which will in turn stress them and encourage them to need more nutrients, more care from you as well, taking up more time. So this can be nicely avoided by watering later in the evening or very early in the morning before the peak heat of the day. So time of day, very crucial. Type of soil, your type of soil in your garden. Understanding what type of soil you've got in your garden will also help you to understand how often you're going to need to water and how frequently, how much you need to water. This goes with the type of plants as well that you've got in your garden. But if they've got really sandy soil or really clay soil, these hold water differently. So if you have sandy soil, as I say, it's going to be really free draining. If you've got clay soil, it's going to hold the moisture and get waterlogged really easily. So they need different ways of watering or different amounts of water. They'll also have different types of plant that grow in these types of soil as well, or can tolerate these types of soil. So understanding on what type of soil you've got and what plants you're growing in your garden also helps you to understand how best and most efficiently to water your garden. So these are things that are often overlooked. People look out into their garden and go, oh, my garden needs watering. I have done a video on this as well of how to know when your plants need watering, so I will link that at the end so you can catch that up. Understanding what plants you've got in your garden, what soil you've got in your garden, and understanding all that will help you a lot to know how to water your garden more efficiently. Inconsistent watering can damage your plants extremely quickly. So by having a more consistent routine with your watering, what your plants need, the requirements, how much water they're going to need, how often, that sort of thing. To become more consistent with your watering is going to support the health of your garden and your plants and remove any risk of the roots drying and not being able to take up nutrients, the soil in containers locking up nutrients as well. The ground and the soil is kept moist, is kept damp. The nutrients in the soil is kept soluble. This allows the roots of the plants to then access them and take them up, and then your plant can get nutrients from the soil. So if your soil dries out, then the nutrients lock up and then they aren't accessible by the plants, and then It's a knock-on effect. Your plant's health get affected. This also goes the same hand in hand with the roots drying up. If the soil dries, the roots will dry up, causing damage to the root systems. The root system has to then recover before, and possibly grow new roots as well, before it can start taking up any nutrients from the soil. So this is why it's incredibly important to remain consistent with your watering, and not just to soak one day and then leave it a week before you soak it again. You need to keep consistent, keep the soil damp. I am an advocate for using natural water sources in your garden for watering your plants. So rainwater, river water, stream water. You've got a natural well in your garden or a spring in your garden. It's much more beneficial for your plants to use natural water sources than it is to use mains water. Now, mains water is treated so we can drink it. This treatment will actually affect the soil in your garden and your plants over time. It will build up and will actually start to affect the health of your plants over time. It will alter the pH of the soil, and it will affect the health of your plants. So it's always a better idea, if you can, to store rain in the water butts, barrels, anything like that, water storage, than it is to use a hose pipe from the mains water. Unless your mains water comes from a well that has no chlorine or anything added to it, it's all natural and filtered and whatever, then that's fine. But if it's like a mains normal water system water, ideally use natural water sources. Your plants will be able to access the water much more efficiently. Natural water sources contain natural minerals and nutrients for your plants as well, which will support your plants. So it's like a feed and a water all in one. So it's much more efficient. Now, obviously, in the height of the summer, when we probably have rain for weeks, the water butts might become a bit empty, the rivers will start to dry. You will have to rely on mains water to water your garden to save everything dying. So on this occasion, fine, do it. My water butts at this point in the summer, we're coming to the end of July, and we haven't had an awful lot of rain. My water butts are nearly empty, so I am reverting to using the hose pipe on occasion, because I don't want my garden to die just because we haven't had any rain. So it's about moderation. If you can use natural water sources, try to use natural water sources. Plus, they're free as well, so that's always good. But yes, natural water sources have got a lot more benefits for your garden than mains water has. So try and use that if you can. I hope these tips have helped you to water more efficiently in your garden, not waste any water when you're watering, and to help support the health and well-being of your garden. And if you'd like to learn more about watering your garden, about how to know when your garden needs watering and the most efficient ways of caring for your plants naturally, click this video right here. And if you would like to see more videos from myself, from Gardening Naturally with Green Fingertips, click the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up as well to help the algorithm of YouTube to show my videos to more people. So if you enjoyed this, as I say, give us a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. See you later.